Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana for those that don't know me, and sorry I've been away for so long. I have spent time with just being away from social media and just realigning myself. I've gone through quite a lot of personal changes in my life and I just needed that time away. I'm back now and I'm here to share my testimony with you of how God took me from a horrible, depressive place at university where I was discriminated and I didn't even get a degree in the end, to being a business owner and working with well-known brands and having amazing clients and being flexible and free to do what I want to do in ministry. Let me go back to where it all began. So I studied social work at university. After A levels, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but then I noticed that people always came to me and told me about their issues and wanted advice from me, and I was like, okay, maybe I should be a social worker because people feel really comfortable to talk to me. And I got an A in sociology, so I went into social work. I enjoyed it, and so the 3 years consisted of 200-day placements, so 200 days placement. I finished all my academics and done my dissertation, and I was on my third year doing my 100-day placement. At this placement, I experienced discrimination, racism, sexism, just every ism you can think of. It was awful. I didn't realize I was so depressed. So anyway, I was talking to my mum one time and I was telling her sort of how they treat me, and then that's when I realized how badly I was actually being treated, because sometimes you don't realize you're going through discrimination or racism until someone else actually highlights it to you. So that's what happened with me, and it made sense why I was always so low and had such a horrible feeling every time I went to my placement. So I complained to my university about the experiences in my placement, and they said, okay, that's fine, we'll just talk to your placement and we can probably find you a new one. So I had a meeting with my placement in my university. In my head it was to discuss my concern, my complaint, but all of a sudden it was just all about me. The placement, instead of dealing with my complaint, they just turned everything over on me and just came at me like a pack of wolves, and was saying that they don't feel I'm fit to be a social worker, and they fabricated things against me to make me look like I'm not fit for practice. It was just awful. I just couldn't believe what I was going through. It was such a horrible time in my life. I felt so low. I saw my friends just ease through university and I'm going through this stress, and so they, because of all the fabricated things that they had against me, the university, who was also, I feel they were racist towards me, they said that I need to go for fitness to practice, which was mean an external panel come in and assess if I'm fit to be a social worker. If they say no, I can never study social work ever. So it was quite a big deal. That was just very difficult because I didn't really know what to expect, but God was with me all the way, and the panel said that clearly I need to be put in a supportive placement, and which was really good. So I was waiting to get a placement from my university. They took literally 2 years. It was ridiculous, and I thought, no, this is just sabotage, just like they just didn't want me to graduate. Meanwhile, while I was waiting for my placement, I just started working at a care home, and it was okay. You know, it allowed me to be to stay active while I was waiting for my placement, so it was good in a way. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a social worker, and the pay I was getting, it was very drastic to what I would be getting if I was a social worker. It was very frustrating that the only thing was the 100 days that I needed to complete, and I was so close to completing it anyway before I complained. Anyway, so I was doing care work for about coming up to 2 years, and I thought, do you know what, I might as well just not go back to university, because if I do go back, they would find a way to fail me anyway, because that's what was happening. So in the end, the university paid me out money compensation for the stress that they've given me. So that was that with university. And while I was still at the care, I was still doing caring, I felt in my spirit that I had to get out of that environment. I didn't feel valued in where I was working. I felt like I just felt very frustrated, because I know that I should be in another position. It wasn't very nice. I remember it was coming up to a new year, and it would have been 2 years with the company. So I just felt that I needed to leave on January the 18th. I don't know why, but I just felt like I need to leave. I need to get out of this job. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a degree, but I know I can't stay in this position. So I remember talking to my mum. I was like, I'm leaving on the 18th of January. Some people are like, what are you going to do? Have you even found another job? I was like, no, I haven't. I just need to get out. So I left on the 18th, and on the same day, probably around 4 o'clock, I got a call from someone that I used to work for when I was at uni. So like some weekends I'd done like promotional modeling for like different events, and he called me and said, oh, I don't know what you're doing. And I said, not much at the moment. I literally quit my job today. And he said, oh, we're opening a new office in London, and we're looking for an operations manager. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is perfect. And he said, come in and I'll show you what to do. And then I came in, and the same day, and he showed me what I'll be doing, the role. Bearing in mind, I don't have any experience in operational managing. And the next day I started. I couldn't believe it. Like, that is literally God, because it's like God told me to leave on the 18th. On the 18th I get the call, and now I am an operational manager in a promotional modeling agency. God gave me a graduate job without even having graduated. He's just so amazing. So I worked there for 2 years. I learned so much, and I just took to it like fish in water. I was just so excited about working with different people, working on events, recruiting the models, and it was just amazing time. I was like, wow, this industry is so exciting, and it's so different from social work, and it just makes me think, if God doesn't want something for you, he would make it known. So because of all the battles and the challenges I was having in trying to be a social work, I thought maybe social work isn't for me, but then I allowed myself to just be open to another career, and it turned out to be perfect for me. So definitely don't limit yourself in what you could do or what you want to do. Always be very open-minded. So I really enjoyed working with that agency, but the manager moved to another country and basically closed down the business. So I was just left with all this experience, and I thought, why don't I just start my own agency? So in 2017 I started my own promotional staffing company called Weekend Staffing. I started on my birthday 2017. It's been 3 years now, and I've worked with so many amazing clients like Huawei, Ted Baker, and it's just been so exciting, and I'm able to give employment to some of my friends who don't have work as well, which is really, really nice to be able to help other people. I'm just really overwhelmed with how God came through, because when I think about how low and depressed I was at university, just thinking like, God, where are you? Why is this happening to me? Why is everyone else able to just graduate and be happy and not have to go through like so much discrimination and go through a panel to see if I'm fit for practice, and all these horrible things that I went through. But it's just amazing to see how God works through the mess, and the fact that he was there all the time, and he orders our steps. He puts things in place to take you to somewhere that's way better than you would ever imagine. His thoughts are above our thoughts, his ways are above our ways, and it's so important to just trust God's plan and to just lean on him. And I do feel like, especially when it came to working at the care home, I felt I needed to leave, and I didn't fight it. I just allowed myself to leave and allowed God to have his way. And that's how he was able to have his way and direct me in the path that he wanted me to be in. And I just want to encourage everyone, if you do feel like you need to step out of a situation, but it seems uncomfortable and you're unsure, you don't know how it's going to work out, trust God, because God has a perfect plan for your life, and he will surprise you with his goodness. But we can't keep living like we know everything, we're in control, because at the end of the day, we don't know what tomorrow brings. It's only by God's grace that we are even alive tomorrow. So put your trust in Jesus. I know it can be really difficult and sometimes scary because you don't know what could be around the corner. For example, I'd left that job. I didn't have any plan on where to go, but I just knew that I needed to get out, and once I took that step, that's when I allowed God to move in my life. So please be encouraged. If you are going through a situation which just seems awful, just know that God has a perfect plan for you, and your latter will be greater. The end will be definitely better than the start. And there's so many stories in the Bible that can help encourage us when we go through trials. Just like Joseph, he went from being sold. His brothers tried to kill him, and then he got put in the Potiphar's dungeon. He just went through so much, and it's so easy to just think God is not there, but he is there. Just keep believing, keep praying, keep stay positive. I know it can be difficult, but once you know who you are in God, and God has made us the head and not the tail, he wants us to have the best. Once you remember that, the circumstances wouldn't faze you, because if you allow your circumstances to keep you down, then it's impossible for God to move in your life. You need to activate your faith. So I hope this testimony is helpful for someone who is going through a hard time in their life and they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just be encouraged that God will come through for you. Just keep the faith, stay believing, and stay expecting great things. Okay, so see you guys later. Bye.